I'm sorry I haven't filmed in a while. Wow. See, I told you I was rusty. First of all, new hair. Yeah, woo. This is actually closer to my natural color, but I'm actually dyeing it again next week, like right before Thanksgiving. This is like section 1 of 2. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm fully like finished with it. So this isn't like finished. But I know it's nice to have something different. I'm excited. I'm actually just sitting down to film another video for one of my classes. It's like a project final, I don't know what you want to call it, but I'm really excited about it. So I'm about to sit down and film that, but I thought that I would just like give you guys a little bit of an update. So I figured I would tell you about the time that I got my first ticket and I ended up going to court because of it, and it was awful. And I need to preface this with just, don't drive bad. Don't be a bad driver. Be a good driver. Be a kind driver. Okay? That's just my preface. So this actually happened a few months ago, so I feel like enough time has passed where it's like I can mention it and it'll be okay. Okay, so I was driving with some friends and we decided that we wanted to go on a night hike. So it was like dark. It wasn't like super late though. It was like 10:30. And I was like, oh, I'll drive since I'm one with the car. And we all got in the car, and pulling out to like out of the university, there's like a stop sign. It's fine. It's like a pretty busy stop sign when like school is going, but since it was like 10:30 at night, there was like no one there. So I go and I slow down, but I don't come to a complete stop. And I didn't even think twice about it because I was like, there's no one here. I checked to made sure no one was walking by, that there were no other cars. So I like slowed down, but I kind of did a California stop. Okay, I know I messed up. I done messed. It's fine, whatever. So I turn right and I start going straight down that road, and all of a sudden lights start flashing and I freaking panic. I'm like, oh no, what is happening? And everyone in the car is like, oh my gosh, like calm down, like it's okay, like, and I'm like, I've never been pulled over, guys, I don't know what to do. And at that moment when I pulled over to the side of the road, I realized that I didn't have my license with me. First of all, that's always a huge mistake, and it's the only time that I've ever not had my license with me, because I always have it in my purse. But because we were going on a hike, I brought a different bag and not my purse, so I didn't have it. And I was like, really, the one time? And so he like knocks on my window and I roll it down, and he's like, do you know what you did? And I was like, I didn't come to a complete stop. And I was mumbling, and I was so awkward and just like so embarrassing. Like it was horrible. But he was like, do you have your license? And I was like, no. So he got my information and he's like, okay, I'll be back. And then he like walks away and like goes and sits in his car, and I just like am panicking the entire time because I'm like, I'm gonna get a ticket. I was like, I can't afford this. Like I have to pay for like other things. Like what am I doing? And I was like getting emotional over it, and everyone in the car was like, it's okay, like you're fine. And I was like, guys, I'm so sorry. But I was trying really hard not to cry. But it was like becoming increasingly difficult. Because like it was like a crazy week anyway, and then it was just like the icing on the cake. So anyway, the police officer, lovely guy that he is, comes back to my window and he's like, okay, so I'm gonna give you a citation. And as soon as he said that, I just like burst into tears, and it was so embarrassing. It was so horrible. I just like couldn't help it. I like started crying. I was like, okay. I was like, yeah, that's fine. And the poor guy, he was like panicked. Like you could see the panic in his eyes because he was like, oh my gosh. And then he started to like try and comfort me because he knew that I was like having a mental breakdown. It was so awful. He was like, okay, I'm not gonna give you a ticket for the license thing. Just make sure you have that on you. And I was like, I'm a criminal. Just handcuff me and take me to jail. And he was like, what are you doing? And he's like, gave me the papers, and he's like, you're gonna have to go and appear in traffic court, or if you don't want to do that, you're gonna have to pay the fee online. He was like, is this your first ticket? I was like, yes. And he was like, okay, like it's okay. Everyone gets their first ticket. So even I get my first ticket. Like, tickets haven't happened to everyone, and it's okay, like, it's not a huge deal. And I was like, why are you being nice to me? But it's because he felt bad, because I was freaking crying in front of all of my friends, and I couldn't pull myself together. And he was like, don't beat yourself up over it. You're still a good person. And I was like, I'm not, like, I'm a criminal. And it was so stressful. Anyway, I was like super upset about it the entire rest of the night. I get home from the night hike. I'm sitting there and I'm still trying to like compose myself, but I'm super, super upset about getting this citation. And this guy that lives down the hall from me walks in and he's like, guys, guess what just happened? And we're like, what? He's like, I just got pulled over by a police officer. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, I didn't come to a complete stop on that stop sign right by the university. And I was like, okay, so it's not just me. But I was still like, that's obnoxious. And he's like, but I didn't even get a ticket. And I was like, what? And I was livid by it. I was like, are you kidding? He's like, yeah, he like talked to me about it and just let me off with a warning. And I was like, are you kidding? So I decided that this time I was actually gonna go to traffic court and fight for my case. So I did. I showed up in court, get in there in front of the judge, and end up just talking to him and explaining my situation. And then I was just wondering about like the stipulations between when someone would get a ticket and when someone wouldn't. And then ultimately the judge was like, well, it's up to the police officer's discretion. And I was like, okay, I get that. By the end of it, I was like leaning up against the podium like this. And then I was just talking to the judge like we were just friends. And he was like the sweetest little like old man. And I just told him what happened. And he was like, okay. So, but like it wasn't even bad at all. I was super, super cool about it. And he actually ended up doing something super nice for me. And I ended up having to go to traffic school, but he ended up waiving the citation, which was really, really nice. I learned a lot. I will always stop at stop signs, no matter what. Don't drive silly like I did. Just make sure that you're following traffic laws, and it keeps people safe, and they're there for a reason. Anyway, that's like my little catch up, but I think I'll just go ahead and insert some footage here of a fish funeral that we had. One of my roommates, her fish died. It was really, really sad. Other than that, I'm gonna go film my other video for my class, and I'll probably be uploading that to this channel. Ooh, as I knock stuff over. It is a sad day. Kate. I'm keeping all of that in. Okay. It is a sad day because Kaylee's fish has crossed over to the little river on the other side. Now we're having a funeral, and I have an obituary, and we're gonna read it in. Oh my god!
I brought the
It's
candle.
my veil.
I brought the candle.
Here today to celebrate the life of Buddy the fish.
I'm sorry, I'm smiling. I'm sorry.
This is a sad occasion. I'm really crying.
He was so worth it. And I'm glad we could celebrate the few short days we had together. I regret nothing.
Except
Whatever
you
his
did.
death. Except however I killed him.
Okay. The official obituary of Buddy the Elf. Buddy the Elf was taken from us on November 12th, 2017 at the age of 3 days. He was born on Thursday, November 9th, 2017 in the Logan Walmart.
That's not even true. He wasn't born that.
Hey,
We have
Shush.
Don't! Parentheses! We have no way of knowing his actual date of birth, and so the decided birth date will be based on the day that his life was given meaning. The day he would travel to the place he would learn to call home. They say that there are plenty of fish in the sea, but there will only ever be one Buddy.
So sad.
Buddy may have only cost 28 cents, but to the people that loved him the most, he was priceless. Funeral services are set to be held privately in the small bathroom of room 403, and he'll finally be swimming with all of his fish friends in the sky.
Thank you, Riley. That was truly beautiful.
Maddie, do you have any words to say?
I wasn't even there.
You don't have anything to contribute.
No.
Maddie, the fish is dead. Think of something.
He will be missed.
Thank you.
My favorite memory with Buddy was the time that I fed him and I just watched him swim around and he was so happy.
Your only memory with Buddy.
No, that was